from the Storm Team 8 Tracking Center, this is a winter weather alert.
We told you this winter blast was coming, and now it's here. Nearly a dozen major crashes on the map, with some local officials telling people to stay home unless it's absolutely necessary.
Hudsonville, how road crews are trying to keep up, coming up.
As you just mentioned, George, we have nearly a dozen crashes both on and off the freeways, and hundreds of schools are closed this morning.
All right, let's start our team coverage in the tracking center with Storm Team 8 meteorologist Sarah Flynn. A busy day for you.
A busy day, and I think it's a textbook example of you don't necessarily need a ton of snow to have issues on the roadways and see those school closures, because that has been the case actually for east of 131. We've missed out largely on a lot of the snow this morning. Still though, seeing some of those moderate to heavy lake effect snow bands set up west of 131, and this will be the area that we'll continue to watch as we head throughout the afternoon for some of those really significant snow totals to start racking up. We're looking for those dark blue pops of color, and it actually is a little bit of improvement from probably an hour ago, but still seeing that stretch through portions of Allegan County, including Allegan, Plainwell, along portions of 131. Robinson starting to see some heavier snow rates. Regardless, it is going to make travel incredibly difficult because we have to add those winds in, and that's causing blowing and drifting snow, dropping those visibilities relatively quickly. I do want to give you a wider view of Storm Track Live because we have this brown line here. This is a little bit of a short wave or disturbance that will pass through, and this very well could trigger some more heavy lake effect snow bands, especially as we head about the next 2 hours. So we're watching it closely. Again, a lot of our models showing that we have a lot of snow to get through today still. Winter weather advisory in effect for counties east of 131. Winter storm warning in effect for a vast majority of the area. All of this will expire in less than 24 hours, 1 a.m. on Friday, but still, again, the winds are going to be a huge factor with blowing and drifting snow. They're sustained from the west-northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour, but top wind gusts yesterday were near 60 and 70 miles per hour. This morning, we're holding fairly steady around that 40 to 45 mile per hour mark. Want to give you a check in Holland. You should be looking at Lake Nakatawa, but you're not because of that visibility and blowing snow. The lakeshore, man, it is a tough morning to be out and about, and we are seeing that with the number of accidents and road closures that we have going on. Blake, is there anything new to report this morning?
Sarah, it's just that very few of the crashes we saw a few hours ago have been cleaned up, and I overlay the radar here just to show you where we're seeing the worst driving conditions. But even outside of the snow, we're still seeing crashes on many of our area freeways. The big closure here in the Grand Rapids area continues to be northbound US 131, but there are crashes on and off the freeways. Fruit Ridge and 16 Mile, potentially serious accident up there that has that area shut down. But we want to focus in on this 131 crash. In fact, it looks like they may have just cleaned it up. A few crews still on the scene. That was a multi-vehicle accident involving a semi. It is really messy across the area. Even as we look down toward I-94, we have several crashes, one near Watervliet, one here near 131. We have a new one popping up to south of Plainwell. The big crash that we are continuing to see is near Battle Creek, westbound I-94, and it looks like there may be multiple accidents. The camera trying to show what looks like it may be a jackknife semi there, and again, this is just to the west of Battle Creek. Not surprising considering the heavy snow we're seeing, but I-94 is really a mess where we continue to see that snowfall this morning. And I tell you what, it is just a good morning to stay home. Heard from Allegan County officials who said, don't drive unless you absolutely have to. You're getting a live view from one of our crews who's driving some of the side streets in Ottawa County. You see all that shiny pavement out there, and that is where we have very icy conditions. Even the two tracks are very slick as snow continues to fall at a very heavy clip in parts of Ottawa County down into Allegan and Kalamazoo. A good idea to stay off the roads unless you absolutely have to head out this morning, George.
All right, Blake, thank you very much. Our sky cams show a lot of snow blowing across the roads along the lakeshore. Here's what things look like in South Haven right now. You can see the snow still coming down and the snow-covered roads there. Elena Kuzhino has been out in the elements this morning. Elena, what are you seeing?
George, yeah, the snow keeps coming down here in Hudsonville. In fact, the flakes are a lot bigger than what we saw a half hour ago, and that's making it harder for road crews as they go and plow those highways, those roads here in Hudsonville. And then the snow keeps coming down. And like Sarah mentioned earlier, that wind is a huge factor in what's making it hard for road crews to clear that snow. Now, another problem they're seeing is because of these cold temperatures, the salt that they lay down might not be working as well as they hope. We spoke with Kalamazoo County the other day to figure out how they're dealing with these roads.
So as the temperature drops, the effectiveness of salt decreases. So when it gets down below that temperature, we might switch over to a sand salt mixture. and that will be able to provide traction on the road until the temperature comes back up where salt becomes effective again.
We'll continue to keep you updated on those road conditions here in Hudsonville. Another thing that many West Michiganders are struggling with this morning is power outages. We'll have more on that coming up. For now, live in Hudsonville, Elena Cuscito, News 8.
All right, Elena, thank you very much. Weather inevitably leading to school closings. Let's go back to Blake with an update on where the numbers stand right now.
George, we have hundreds, and you're seeing them at the bottom of your screen. Not as many instant alerts coming up now because a lot of them closed last night. Boy, the map is red, and for good reason. Again, even if you're not seeing snow, the side roads, the freeways are very icy. Not a good situation for buses to be in. There's very little you can do when you're driving on ice. The only school district in Ottawa and Kent counties that is open is East Grand Rapids. You see that little hole there. Otherwise, Grand Rapids is closed. Wyoming, East Kentwood, Forest Hills all coming in this morning. All the Lakeshore schools closed last night, including Ottawa County down into Muskegon. And then a little further south, schools are closed just about everywhere. Lakewood, in fact, just came in. Haven't colored that in yet. We have Allegan and Barry County schools that are closed, as well as Van Buren, Kalamazoo, and Calhoun, down into much of St. Joseph County. And again, this is where we're seeing the heaviest lake effect snow. Even if you're not, that push of snow that came through last night, combined with the winds, continuing to result in very icy roads, especially on some of those rural and gravel roads this morning, George.
All right, thank you very much. Keep your shovels handy. If you live in Grand Rapids or Kalamazoo, you want to make sure your sidewalks are clear. In the city of Grand Rapids, if they get a complaint about the sidewalk, it'll mail you a notice. If the sidewalk is not cleared in 48 hours, the city contractor will do the work and bill you for it. In Kalamazoo, there's been a change to the snow clearing ordinance. You have 48 hours to clear the snow and ice, or the city will hire someone to do it, and you'll be slapped with a fee.